Good afternoon, guys. This is Dan, and I'm with Senior Survival Tips. And today we are taking a walk, and we're going to talk about exercise. We're going to talk about the importance of exercise. What do you guys do to stay busy, active, and some of the things we can do to keep our body in motion. Remember, a person at rest stays at rest, and a person in motion stays at motion. How true. But today we're just going to take a walk through the neighborhood and maybe try to do a 2 or 3 mile walk here today. I won't be filming the whole time, and I might let you know I'm at the 1 mile marker, or how long it took maybe to do that 1 mile. And then we'll maybe get into some other things as far as living on a fixed income as a senior. Certainly how important that is when you're on a fixed income. Like, do you have an emergency fund set up 6 months to maybe a year, to where if something happens that you'll be able to get things done? Maybe your roof needs replaced, or plumbing, electrical, anything like can happen anytime. Are you ready for that? So yeah, we're going to dive into that. So I will be discussing that as we're doing our walk. Okay, guys, let's talk about some of the stuff that you do being retired. Do you go to the gym? Do you walk like I'm doing today? Do you ride your bike or e-bikes, e-trikes maybe? Anyone got that? I've got a channel called E-Bike Nation and E-Trike Nation. If you guys want to jump down there and watch some of the stuff I do. Get my camera adjusted here. Somehow my camera got turned around here. Let me shut it off and turn it back on. Okay, that's better. Lost my camera. Went to horizontal instead of it went to vertical instead, now horizontal where it should be. Yeah, let me know, what do you guys do for activity? Do you walk like this? Do you have a gym membership since you're retired? Do you ride a bike or trike? I have 2 channels called E-Bike Nation and E-Trike Nation. We'll show you guys how to exercise on an e-bike or e-trike. Very good for seniors and people with disabilities. I put out several content for you guys so you can watch that. But yeah, let me know what you guys do. What kind of activities do you do? And that's what this kind of video is primarily about, is exercise. It's finally warming up a little bit here in Southwest Ohio, and I'm able to get out and do some walking. But let me know what you guys do. Put it down in the comment section. Any questions you may have. I'm 74 years old and I'm out doing this. But I consider myself pretty healthy. I had a knee replacement back in October. And within 2 or 3 weeks, I was on my e-bike and e-trike right after knee replacement. But I keep my body as healthy as I can. I don't eat as good as I should be. And that's been a warning sign the last couple of years that I need to slow down on the calorie intake, especially with carbs and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll talk a little bit about more of that, and I'll talk to you when I get up to the 1 mile marker. How many miles should you walk when you're out? What do you feel comfortable walking? Hey guys, even a half a mile a day is really, really good for your body. When I was at my peak, I was doing 5 miles every day walking. But before I had knee surgery, my knees started to swell up because I was walking too much. So I finally had to cut that back until I had surgery on my right knee. Again, I have bone on my left knee, but I don't have to worry about replacement right now because I have no pain. So that's been a win. So now that the weather's warming a little, and I'll do a lot of walking in the winter too, but we're just going to get out and we're going to get some exercise every day. I'm going to try to do 3 miles every day, and I might do some videoing on it, but not every day. So I can share with you guys about walking and some of the things you need to look for. got to have you a good pair of shoes first and foremost. That's very important. And don't start out walking a mile a day, because your body is not used to that, especially when you're a senior. So you need to start that out slow. Maybe walk around the block if you're in a city area. You have to build yourself up to it. So you'll notice even as I'm walking, I start to get a little out of breath. And that's going to happen when you're walking. So that's why I go so far, and I'll cut the camera off and then I'll pick it back up. And we're going to do again about 2 miles, 2.5 today. But I will be letting you know when I get to the 1 mile marker, the 2 mile marker, and then when we get done. So if you got any comments you want to put down there, any questions, put them down in the comment section. And I'll see you at the 1 mile marker. Okay guys, we just hit our mile marker. I think it took me, let's see what the time says here. It says about 39 minutes, but I stopped and talked to a buddy of mine as he was coming by, so it cost me about 10 minutes, so we're talking about 30 minutes maybe to do the mile. I'm going to walk up here to Dunkin' Donuts and get me a cup of coffee. Maybe sit down and relax for a minute. And then we'll continue our walk again. We're going to be doing about a 2.5 mile today. But we're going to take a little break in between. And I don't usually do that, but today may be the day. Just because I can. Maybe I can meet somebody up at the Dunkin' Donuts that might be able to have a conversation with. So I'll see you when I get back out. Okay guys, we're continuing our walk here. Let me get this camera right here. You see I stopped and got my Dunkin' Donuts coffee. And we're going to continue our walk here. Yeah, we're going to get into a discussion about not only exercise, but getting ready for retirement. What do you need to have in place once you're on a fixed income? Because guys, if you don't have a 401 or a savings set up right now, you better have a good emergency fund for when something happens, though you don't have to dive into your Social Security in order to pay for something like a roof or a plumbing issue, maybe an electrical issue. So these are some of the things that come up that you're going to have to be ready for. So we always need to have a nest egg put away for emergencies. Again, what if a roof goes out, or an electrician you need to be called, or a plumber? Are you guys ready for that? What if you need a air conditioner and furnace replaced? Are you ready for that? I had to do that a couple years ago, and we were $12,000 to $14,000 for those two items. But fortunately, we had enough money saved back where we did not have to get into our Social Security to do that. And then we talk about other expenses that pop up. Let's talk about medical expenses. Even if you have Medicare, there are things that still cost you out of pocket. Whether it be prescriptions, co-pays, hospital visits. I just had a crash on my e-bike, which I mentioned, and I had to go to the hospital emergency room. And even though Medicare covered most of it, I still had $130 out of pocket I had to pay. Now, if you was on a Social Security fixed income, that might be difficult to come up with. So that's why we talk about these things, that you got to be ready when this stuff happens. You got to be proactive, shall we say, and not reactive. So these are some of the things that can hit you once you retire. Now, I love talking about ways you can save going to the grocery store. That's important. Instead of going to one grocery store, maybe go to 3 or 4. Make it an all-day event if you have to. If you have to pick up prescriptions, stop by the pharmacy and pick them up too. It's going to save you gas. Stores have sales all the time. Not so much Walmart, but you get into Kroger and Aldi, they'll have some pretty good deals. Clip them digital coupons at Kroger if you have one of them around you, or any other store that may do digital coupons. Take advantage of that, guys. Now, sometimes I'll recommend that have grocery delivered to you. It's not that terribly expensive. You can probably spend $35, and some, like Kroger's got a membership if you want to take advantage of it, where you pay so much a month, and then you can either drive to pick the groceries up, or you can have them delivered. And that technology is really changing, guys. So if you're if you can't get out and drive, you don't drive anymore, or you're disabled, those services are fantastic for guys, and for all of us for that matter. So, but yeah, if you're going to go grocery shopping, take a list, sit down, and if you got a spouse, or sit down and discuss what you're going to buy for that week. How many meals do you want to buy for? Sometimes we'll put 30 to 40 meals in a rotation. And so we don't get tired of eating the same thing. We'll just go to the store and pick up the items that we need for that particular meal. And fix meals that'll stretch out. Rather than meals that, like soups, chili, something you can make 2 to 4 days out of. It's going to save you money in the long run. Fortunately, I am married to a Southern woman. Shall I say, she grew up in the South of Kentucky, and she hates to cook, but she's a very good cook. But I've learned to eat things like pinto beans and chicken and dumplings, some of these Southern dishes that I've never eaten before when I grew up. So I've learned to eat a lot of things that she fixed to stretch out meals. So that's pretty important. I'm trying to spill my coffee everywhere here. Right now I'm just about halfway through my walk. About another 1/10 of a mile, I'll be halfway, and I'm doing 2.5 miles today. That'll be enough. But I just wanted to share some of these things that I do, some of the things that you can do to save money. The surroundings of the area here. Just some different buildings. My neck of the woods, shall we say. But yeah, once you retire, those things become very important when you're on a fixed income. It's a different life, guys. When I was working, we'd pretty much eat what we wanted. We'd kind of buy what we wanted. But we learned just before I retired, and if we couldn't pay cash for that item, we didn't buy it. I have, fortunately, no debt. My home's paid for, my vehicles are paid for. So we are in a great situation right now to be in, you may call it, because we set ourselves up for this. And I owned a pest control company. I was in the industry 40 years, and I own my own company 20 years. And I learned how to save a lot of money. When I was a business owner, a lot of it went back into the business, but I was able to save throughout the years to afford me to do some of the things that I needed to do before I retired. So if something happened, we'd pay cash for it, and I have to worry about going in debt for it. And that's what really catches people when you have to go in debt, and you're already on a fixed income with Social Security. That can be rough times. So yeah, we just have to navigate through retirement. What's best for you? What are some of the things that you do to save money? And I'd like to have you guys comment in the comment section some of the things you do to save money in retirement. Or you're becoming close to retiring. Are you ready for that? So yeah, we're going to go ahead and cut off right now. We're about a mile and a half, almost halfway into our walk here. Like I said, we're going to do 2.5 miles. We're not quite halfway yet. And then we'll be doing another walking video. We'll be talking about some other subjects and some things that may interest you. So yeah, share, like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. And I'll see you guys on the next walking video.